High above the rugged, ancient landscapes of eastern Turkey, a colossal peak pierces the clouds. This is Mount Ararat, a name synonymous with one of humanity's oldest and most profound mysteries. For millennia, whispers have persisted that somewhere on its formidable slopes, or within its hidden valleys, lies the most fabled vessel in history. Could the biblical ark, the very ship that carried life through a cataclysmic flood, truly be hidden here, awaiting rediscovery? This question has captivated theologians, adventurers, and scientists for centuries, fueling expeditions and igniting fervent debate. Now, in a new era of technological advancement, the search has intensified. Recent investigations, particularly those conducted between 2024 and 2025, have brought forth startling new evidence. These findings threaten to redefine our understanding of ancient history and challenge long-held beliefs. The implications are staggering, suggesting that what was once dismissed as myth might, in fact, be a tangible truth. The veil of mystery surrounding Noah's Ark may finally be lifting, revealing secrets buried for thousands of years beneath the earth. The ancient text of Genesis, a cornerstone of Abrahamic faiths, recounts a devastating global flood. It describes Noah, commanded by a divine power, constructing an immense vessel to preserve life. After the waters receded, the ark, according to scripture, came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. This biblical passage points directly to the towering volcanic massif that dominates the Armenian highlands. Mount Ararat, or Ardar as it is known locally, stands majestically in eastern Turkey, near the borders of Armenia and Iran. Its snow-capped summit has long been a beacon for those seeking the Ark. The modern quest for the Ark took a dramatic turn in 1959. A Turkish Air Force captain, İlhan Durupner, was conducting routine aerial mapping flights over the region. His camera captured an anomaly, a distinct, boat-shaped formation etched into the landscape. This remarkable discovery, nestled in the Tenderek Mountains, just south of Mount Ararat, immediately sparked intense speculation. The formation, clearly visible from the air, possessed an uncanny resemblance to a massive hull. It lay like a fossilized ship, embedded in the earth. What truly astonished early observers was the sheer scale of the formation. Its measured length stretched approximately 538 feet. This figure bore an astonishingly close resemblance to the biblical dimensions of Noah's Ark, which are often interpreted as around 515 feet. The alignment was too precise to be easily dismissed as mere coincidence. The discovery of the Durupner site ignited a firestorm of interest, drawing both serious researchers and passionate amateurs. Among the most prominent and controversial figures to investigate the site was Ron Wyatt, an American amateur archaeologist. Beginning in the 1980s, Wyatt dedicated years to exploring the formation, convinced it was the Ark. Wyatt's claims were sensational and far-reaching. He reported finding petrified wood, which he asserted was the fossilized timber of the Ark itself. He also claimed to have discovered large metal fittings, which he interpreted as ancient rivets or structural components. Furthermore, he spoke of fossilized animal droppings, remnants of the Ark's cargo. These pronouncements, often accompanied by dramatic presentations, generated immense media excitement. Public attention soared, fueled by the hope that a biblical artifact of such magnitude had finally been found. For many, Wyatt's findings offered tangible proof of the Genesis account. However, the scientific community largely dismissed Wyatt's claims. Geologists and professional archaeologists scrutinized his methods and evidence, finding them lacking. They attributed the formation to natural geological processes, not the remains of an ancient vessel. The prevailing scientific explanation for the Durupner site is that it is a natural syncline. This is a geological term for a trough-shaped fold in rock strata, formed by the compression of the Earth's crust. The boat-like shape, experts argued, was merely a striking example of natural erosion and geological forces at work over millennia. Despite the skepticism, the allure of the Durupner site never truly faded. Decades later, a new chapter began with a renewed, scientifically rigorous investigation. A joint team, comprising experts from Istanbul Technical University and Andrews University, returned to the enigmatic formation. This time, they brought with them the cutting edge of modern archaeological technology. Ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, was deployed to peer beneath the surface without disturbing the site. Drone LiDAR, a sophisticated remote sensing method, created incredibly detailed 3D maps of the terrain. The results were nothing short of astonishing. The GPR scans revealed intriguing internal structures within the Durupna site. These were not the random patterns expected from natural rock formations. Instead, they suggested a degree of order and design. Specifically, the scans indicated the presence of symmetrical voids, suggesting empty spaces or chambers. They also showed what appeared to be straight corridors and distinct rectangular shapes. These findings were highly unusual for a purely natural geological feature. The implication of these internal structures was profound. They suggested a potential man-made origin for at least some of the features within the formation. The regularity and symmetry hinted at intelligent construction, rather than the chaotic processes of nature. Further analysis involved the collection and examination of soil samples from various depths within the formation. These samples yielded another surprising discovery. They contained elevated levels of organic carbon, potassium, and various trace metals. The interpretation of these chemical signatures was compelling. Such concentrations could be indicative of the decay of ancient wood or other organic cargo. It suggested that, at some point, a significant amount of organic material had been present and decomposed within the structure. Even with these groundbreaking new findings, the scientific community remains cautious. The history of archaeological claims, particularly those touching on religious narratives, is fraught with misinterpretations and outright hoaxes. Extraordinary claims, as the saying goes, require extraordinary evidence. One of the most common counterarguments is the phenomenon of pareidolia. This is the psychological tendency to perceive a specific, often meaningful, image or pattern in a random or ambiguous visual stimulus. The human mind is wired to find patterns, even where none truly exist. Skeptics argue that the boat-like shape of the Durupna site is simply a natural formation that happens to resemble a ship. They propose alternative natural explanations, such as the site being a natural syncline, as previously suggested, or even a hardened mudflow that took on a peculiar shape over time. The scientific method demands rigorous testing and independent verification. Until the internal structures can be physically excavated and examined, and the organic material definitively identified, caution is paramount. The burden of proof rests heavily on those making the claim. As the renowned astronomer Carl Sagan famously stated, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The Durupna site, while intriguing, has yet to provide the irrefutable, extraordinary evidence that would convince the broader scientific community of its identity as Noah's Ark. The story of a great flood, a cataclysmic deluge that reshaped the world, is not unique to the biblical narrative. Flood myths are remarkably prevalent across diverse cultures and continents, suggesting a shared human experience or a common ancestral memory. From the Epic of Gilgamesh in ancient Mesopotamia, which predates the biblical account, to the traditions of Native American tribes, Aboriginal Australians, and various Asian cultures, the motif of a devastating flood recurs. These narratives often describe a divine punishment, a chosen survivor, and the repopulation of the earth. The widespread nature of these myths has led some researchers to connect them to geological evidence of major flooding events in Earth's history. While a single, truly global flood covering all landmasses simultaneously is not supported by geological evidence, localized megafloods certainly occurred. Of particular interest are significant flooding events that took place around 5,000 years ago. One prominent theory points to the Black Sea Basin. Geologists propose that around this time, the Black Sea, then a freshwater lake, was dramatically inundated by a massive influx of saltwater from the Mediterranean Sea. This catastrophic event would have submerged vast areas of fertile land, displacing populations and creating a powerful, enduring memory. The geographic proximity of Mount Ararat to the Black Sea Basin makes this theory particularly compelling. It offers a potential real-world event that could have inspired the widespread flood narratives. The potential discovery of Noah's Ark would undoubtedly have a monumental impact, far beyond the realms of archaeology and religion. For Turkey, and particularly for the impoverished region surrounding Mount Ararat, it would trigger an unprecedented surge in tourism. Imagine the influx of pilgrims, history buffs, and curious travelers from around the globe. Ark-themed tours, local businesses, and infrastructure would boom, bringing significant economic benefits to the local population. It would transform the region into a global pilgrimage site. However, the site's location presents significant challenges. The Durupna Formation lies within a sensitive military zone, close to Turkey's borders with Iran and Armenia. This geopolitical reality imposes strict restrictions on access and research. Security concerns, border disputes, and regional tensions mean that access to the site is often limited and requires extensive permits. This complicates sustained archaeological work and makes it difficult for independent researchers to verify findings. The geopolitical landscape adds another layer of complexity to an already intricate mystery. As of mid-2025, the scientific community and the world await a pivotal decision. Following the compelling results of the GPR and LiDAR scans, the Joint Research Team has submitted a formal request for full excavation of the Durupna site. This is a critical step, seeking official permission to physically dig into the formation. If approved, this would mark an unprecedented moment, the first sanctioned, large-scale archaeological dig at the Durupna site using modern tools and methodologies. It would allow researchers to directly examine the internal structures, collect more definitive samples, and potentially uncover irrefutable evidence. The stakes could not be higher. If the excavations confirm the presence of a man-made structure, and if the organic materials are indeed ancient wood from a vessel of immense proportions, it would represent the greatest archaeological find in human history. It would be a discovery that transcends cultures, religions, and scientific disciplines. It would force a re-evaluation of ancient history, biblical narratives, and the very origins of civilization. The implications would ripple across academia, theology, and popular culture, forever changing our understanding of the past. The mystery of Noah's Ark, long relegated to the realm of myth and legend, now stands at the precipice of scientific inquiry. The boat-shaped anomaly in eastern Turkey, once dismissed as a geological curiosity, has yielded tantalizing new clues. Advanced technology has peered beneath the surface, revealing patterns that defy simple natural explanation. Are these findings merely a trick of light and shadow, a product of pareidolia, or do they hint at something far more profound? Could the echoes of a cataclysmic flood, preserved in ancient texts and global myths, finally be manifesting in a tangible form? The question remains, is Noah's Ark truly hidden in Turkey, waiting to be unearthed? The answer, perhaps, lies just beneath the surface, awaiting the archaeologist's spade. What do you believe? Is the Ark really hidden beneath this eastern Turkish mountain, or is it just another natural wonder wrapped in myth? Tell us in the comments, and if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the Turkish Odyssey. It's completely free, and it helps us keep uncovering new stories. Thank you for watching. See you in the next adventure.